This video is going to teach you how to draw and perform a translation with a compass and a straight edge using a vector. So what you're going to do is first take your compass, loosen it up, make sure it's adjustable, and you're going to measure your vector from start to finish. And the start of the vector is going to be the side without the arrow. The finish of the vector is going to be the one with the arrow. So you're going in this direction. So right now, this figure is going to be translated or slid up here somewhere. So take your compass, go center of the point to center of the point. If you need to test your arc, draw a real quick small arc to see if it goes to the center. Once you have found that, snug up this adjustment. Make sure it's not going to move accidentally. And now what we're going to do is you're going to take this vector distance you just measured and locked in, and you're going to draw it from every single point here. So we have 4 points, A, B, C, D to start with. We're going to draw 4 arcs in this direction. It won't make a whole lot of sense to turn around your compass and draw an arc over here if your figure is not going to move in this direction. So take this, measure it, go up here. Somewhere in this direction your B prime is going to be, so we're going to place it at B. Simply put it down, create a small arc. Go to C, do the exact same thing, create a small arc. Go to A, create an arc. D as well, create an arc. So keep track of which point this is. So for example, over here is C, B is way up here, A is here, and D is here. Okay. Now you're going to unlock your compass. You're going to create a second reference point for all these arcs. So A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime are somewhere on these arcs. We just got to find exactly where. So we're going to loosen up the adjustment here, and we're going to measure point by point from the start of the vector, and then move it up the vector to find out where it crosses its first arc. So let's start with A, for example. So you're going to take your compass, put your compass point on A, and then you're going to go to the beginning of the vector. Do your best to get it right at the center to measure. Once you think you've got the correct measurement or closest to it, you're going to tighten it down. Okay, and I'm actually going to switch this around here to show you what happens. So from the vector to A is that distance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move it, pick it up. I'm going to move it up this vector. I'm going to put it down here to showcase the movement. I'm going to find out where it crosses that initial arc. So A was this arc right here. I don't need to draw a giant arc. I just got to find out where it intersects at. So right there, those 2 arcs intersect. That's going to be A prime. So right now, before you forget, put a point there, mark it A prime. So you got 1 down. You got to do it 3 more times for B, C, and D. So I'm going to loosen up the compass again. I'm going to go to B this time. So I'm going to place the compass point at the vector. Here, I'm going to open up the compass to B. Some micro adjustments here. Once you have that, you think, tighten it down. Now once you've accurately measured that to the best of your ability, you're going to take it, you're going to move it up the vector, place it down here. I know the B arc is here, so I'm going to take my arc and see where it crosses the initial B arc. And I do have an intersection. So I'm going to mark that as B prime. So you'll notice that I'm 2 for 2 on finding the intersection of the arcs. That comes with practice because I'm predicting where this is going to go in this direction. If you make your arcs really big or you make them small but in the wrong spot, these won't end up intersecting, which means you didn't do it wrong. You should need to extend your arcs in the right spot. So let's say, for example, this arc didn't intersect. I didn't draw this one long enough. You simply have to remeasure the vector and draw that arc bigger over here so you find that intersection point. So I have A prime, I have B prime, I'm going to go to C prime, and then D prime after that. So I'm going to loosen up this again. Go to the end of my, or start of my vector, put my point down, adjust my compass so I go right through the center of C. The more time you take in making sure that you're accurate here, these little spots where you're measuring, that's how you get your pictures or your images to be more accurate. It's that extra time you take to measure. So take your compass, bring it up the vector here, go to the endpoint. My C vector, or my C arc is way over here. I'm going to find out where it crosses here. So I'm going to turn the paper. And I just got the intersection right there. If I didn't have that, I would have to remeasure the vector and draw that C arc longer. But I did find the intersection. I'm going to mark that as C prime. And I have one more to do. I'm going to loosen up the compass again. Put the compass point on the start of the vector here. Go to D. Adjust it, tighten it now. Now they have it. Okay, so once you have this, move it up the vector. And you have that one arc that hasn't been intersected yet, so find out where this crosses, and it's right there. Once you have that intersection, you're going to take your pencil. We're going to mark that D prime. And now we have the 4 points we need. This step just requires you to take your straight edge and make your best line segments possible. So center to the point to center to the point. These are lines you can really draw dark with the pencil, because these ones you're not going to erase. So this image of this quadrilateral should look nearly identical or very much identical, depending on how accurate you were. Okay, so for example, AD is still the shortest side in this image here. Should have approximately the same angles. In no way should your shape be rotated at all. Okay, your orientation should be the exact same. All you did was take this and slide it. There's no rotation whatsoever. So if your figure looks rotated or looks, slightly deformed in some way, that means you need to take more time with measuring your vector and the distances between the points and the start of the vector. Once you have this, if you want to clean it up by erasing some of the arcs, you can. Because from here on out, you have this image, and it's all you need is those 4 points, no longer the arcs. We've successfully translated this figure with this vector.